And welcome to another edition of Afternoon Snackage. This afternoon, my breakroom buddy is Sheila Robinson. She is the chief strategist of Daraja Consulting, which, by the way, is a cool name. Please, Daraja, what does that mean?
So Daraja means bridge in Swahili.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. That is so cool.
so oftentimes what we do in HR, we are bridging the gaps, whether
Mm,
that's through people, whether that is through policy, whether that is through processes. So Daraja means bridge.
okay. Do you have anything you're snacking on this afternoon? Oh, you're not revealing that? That's okay. That's
So
okay.
many snacks, so many snacks. So you tell me what you snacking on, and I'll see if we brought the same things to the break room.
I have fruit chews. I have these little
I
fruit
have
chews.
this good cup of coffee right here.
Oh, there you
Um,
go. Coffee is
yes.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a break room break, so we can
You
do
being
all this
you
stuff
being
here.
healthy, and I'm somewhat jealous.
No, these are fruit. No, these are fruit chews. They came in a little bag. They're not as healthy as you think they are. I mean, if I really wanted to impress people, I would actually have fruit.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Um, so I think obviously I think about HR quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is really broad, but what
Mm-hmm.
is something that comes to mind for you, especially as an HR consultant, when you see something that'll impact the communication and collaboration on the team or from the executive level to
Mm-hmm.
the middle level? What do you see sometimes? What comes to mind?
Um, there are blockages in communication.
Ooh, oh,
Um,
do tell, spill.
so it could be the perception of the information that is being shared. It could be the level of
Mm.
understanding for the information that is shared. Um, oftentimes we move throughout our careers and our vernacular changes and we become such eloquent speakers. But sometimes the message is the message and two plus two is four. And that's what we need to just say. Two plus two is four. So sometimes you need to make the message plain for people to better understand it.
So
And
all of my colleagues in higher education are going to laugh about this
hmm
because this is the pain that they feel all the time
hmm
when they have to deliver a very plain message, especially internally
hmm
and externally. And then somebody who is, very versed in their field wants to have the vernacular, the jargon,
hmm
and you have to break their hearts and say, nobody
no,
cares.
right. I don't know what you said. Communication has failed. What did you say?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can sit here all day and say things like, when we're looking at recruitment, we want to ensure that we are pushing diverse talent pipelines and making sure that we have the connectivity and we move forward with onboarding. What did I just say? We want different people for different positions and we want them to get hired and we want to make sure they are onboarded properly so their first day and their last day don't equate to the same.
What about so this brings up a question though. What about when you are working with a team on
Mm-hmm.
job descriptions
Mm-hmm.
and someone is saying, no, the job description has to have this jargon because that's the only way I'm going to find the right people. If it's too simple, I'm going to have all kinds of people who don't know what they're doing applying. What do you say to that?
I don't disagree with that because you're
Okay.
looking for a certain type of person or a certain type of candidate. But also understand if you want certain types of jargon, pay certain types of pay rates.
Ooh.
That's important to me.
Yeah.
If I am looking for someone who is at the doctorate level and I'm putting this jargon in this job description and into this announcement, the salary has to be commensurate with what I'm looking for.
Mm.
Otherwise, we did all this work for this job description and this job announcement and this recruitment process and campaign for what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a way of communicating also.
That is so I do find that to be an interesting I do find that to be a really interesting way to look at it because I think that's something that really upsets highly qualified people when they're looking at
Hmm.
job descriptions. And
Hmm.
it has all of the stuff, all the buzzwords, everything that they need. And then it pays about $20,000 less than the market rate.
Hmm.
And they're going, well, okay, thanks for the impressive job description,
Right.
but the job, no, you are
Hmm.
not compensating adequately for
Right. My
this.
level of, right. The level that I bring, my level of expertise and all of my credentials that I have, I'm bringing this to you, but you cut me before I even can get in the door. So, um, and then honesty is not a thought. It's a real thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when you are being honest in how you are presenting your position, people respect that. And
Mm.
they're willing to think and kind of like, oh, let me take some time and kind of mull this over and see if this is where I really want to be. So that's important also.
So going back to what you were saying about jargon,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping the message simple, have you seen a situation where internally the
Mm-hmm.
message had to be kept pretty plain, pretty simple for folks, even though everybody may speak the same language, they may have the same jargon, they still need that message to be simple internally?
Mm-hmm. So that's even with like policy and standards.
Mm,
That message has to transcend and everybody has to understand it across the board. So, if I say we have a no fraternization policy, you and I know what that means, but that may mean I have to break it down for someone else and educate them so they understand what fraternization is.
mhm.
So
Yeah,
when I say there's a no fraternization policy, they understand, oh, well, we don't need to be doing things and communicating with people in a certain way and having these type of relationships. So
yeah,
now they understand. And
yeah.
so they can go out into the world and they can repeat that and say, oh, we don't do that here. And they know what that means. So some of it comes down to education.
There are some people who really, really hate to simplify their language.
Hmm.
What do you find people like that have in common when they say, "No, I'm not dumbing this down for anybody"? What is usually their thing? Why do they hold on so tightly to wanting to write or speak their language?
You want me to be 100% honest?
I mean, we're in a break room. Although
Your,
this is on social media, this is on LinkedIn.
that's fine. Your ego is your ego.
Okay, that's
And
fine. That's
you feed
fair.
your ego however you want to.
Hmm.
And so when you're communicating, if no one understands what you're saying but you, that has to be fine with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're not willing to diversify and adapt, that's on you too.
But you know what, isn't that a big thing in leadership though? I mean, leaders have to be adaptable. They probably have to be more adaptable than the people they're leading. Don't
Hmm.
you, do you think?
Because there's not one form of when you are aspiring to be a good leader, there's not just one form of leadership. You may have a way that you do things, but you have to be adaptable in order to galvanize across, whomever you're speaking with. So I have to be able to transcend my leadership and touch individuals. And those
Yeah.
individuals have to not only understand my messaging, but understand my mission and my passion for what I'm doing. So if we're trying to achieve a goal, I have to be able to motivate this person in whichever way that is. So I have to be adaptable as a leader. If I am stuck on, I'm not dumbing this down. So, like, I'll give you insurance.
Mm.
You've looked at insurance, well, you've looked at benefit guides and whatnot. What does this mean?
Hmm.
So if you're not willing to adapt your messaging so that people of different levels can understand what their benefits are that they're signing up for and paying for, then how effective do you really want to be?
Yeah.
Like what's your end game? So that's the same thing with leadership. Like you have to, if you're trying to be effective, there's not one way to communicate. There's not just one way to lead. You have to be adaptable.
That's actually one of the gifts. That's one of the gifts of my mass media experience because it's the same philosophy in media. If
Mm-hmm.
you are going to do a report or if you are going to do a talk show, and you are talking to this guest, but you're really talking to the audience because you want the
Mm-hmm.
audience to understand the conversation that's happening
Mm-hmm.
between you and this economist who is a professor at UNO, right? As a matter of
Mm-hmm.
fact, I did. I actually did do an interview with a professor who's an economist at UNO. And one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that we talked about before the interview was, hey, I really want to make this plain for the public.
Mm-hmm.
I want the public to understand, grasp these concepts easily.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for academics, for people in law, for people in highly professionalized fields, I
Mm-hmm.
find it can be really difficult for them because they're so used to speaking that language.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're the ones
But if
who.
that's your audience, that's your audience.
And there's a difference between writing a journal article, that might
Mm-hmm.
be peer reviewed, and
Mm-hmm.
writing an article for a magazine or writing an op-ed for USA Today or something like that. There's a really
Mm-hmm.
big difference. And if you have a really wide group of people that you're talking to, the more simple the message is, the more that audience is going to understand it. And you can either
Mm-hmm.
persuade them to do what you need them to do, or you can
Mm-hmm.
get them to do whatever.
Right.
Um, so let's talk about the audience and let's talk about the employees. What
Mm-hmm.
happens when the employees are reading something or they're listening to something and the language is too complicated? What happens to them? What do they do?
What I have found is they check out.
Yeah.
You have your select few that will Google and ask questions, but in this day and age with how quickly, well, how short our attention spans are, they check out.
Hmm.
And oftentimes they have signed something and they don't know what it means.
Yeah.
They are participating in something and they don't know what it entails, what your participation entails. And so that's how we get into some of the issues when it comes to employees that didn't understand.
Mm.
Um, I'm dealing with a client right now. They did not fully explain if you didn't decline the 401k, you will be automatically enrolled into 401k. So
Oh,
when I took
yeah.
this client on, they're like, "Where's my money?" I was like, "I don't know, in your check. I don't, what do you mean?" And so, um, after doing research, I was like, "Oh, you have to decline this." And so
Yeah.
I was like, they were like, "Am I in this forever?" I was like, "No, but you do have to send in a document saying that you do not want to participate." But they didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you just, I try my best to consider my audience. If that audience is employees, I consider what is that makeup of the audience? Um, and I want to make sure I get that information out. So that may mean that, you send out an email. That may mean you send out text messages. That may mean that you put up flyers. That may mean that, you get in front of them and you explain this is what's happening, and this is what you need to expect. So I have to use all different types of communication to get that out to them, and we leave no stone unturned.
Okay, so let's talk about what people can do. Leaders,
Hmm.
what do they need to do to make sure that their messages to their employees are simple and they can, and again, they can achieve what they want to achieve?
Hmm. So you have to understand the culture of your organization and how your
Mm.
organization works. So if you can send out an email and your leadership takes that email and pushes it out, great. That's wonderful. I've never worked in those environments. So one email is not enough.
Hmm. No,
So,
never, ever. Mm-mm.
right.
No.
So, um, if it depends, so this is what I have done in the past. Those people who I know are going to be the ones that are going to send the message. They're going to talk in the break rooms. They're going to talk out, in the environments or like on the production floors and whatnot. I talk to them first. Hey, this
Mm-hmm.
is what's coming. Then I can send out, then from there, you can get a communication plan together. Whether that is this is the email with all of the information, or this is the post that's going out.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what's coming. These are the details. Here's the QR code, scan it, and it has all the information with you. Now, we also have a population, they're not scanning, they're not emailing, they're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to put out old school memos so they
Yep.
can pick it up.
Yep.
Um, and then sometimes there has to be a meeting
Mm-hmm.
to go over this information. These days we do recordings. Well, we do a video with all the information and then we send it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so whatever for leaders, you have to know what your culture of your organization is, what communication is effective in that organization, and who are the players? Who are the ones that are going to take that message and run with it? And then sometimes you have exceptional, whether it's managers or supervisors, who's ever at that level, they do a great job of making sure that communication goes to their team.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes it's not so much as, well, this manager needs to speak this way. Sometimes that manager can have a meeting, invite them to that meeting so they can go over this information. They can leave after that information has been shared.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of different ways to do it, but I encourage all leaders, what is effective? Identify what is effective communication in your organization and then do it. Execute the effective communication.
And what about the employees? Do they bear any responsibility in this?
To confirm that they received the information.
Yeah.
Um, and I always open my door, my proverbial door, whether that's my email, my text message, a phone call, or even a Zoom call. Like open up so that you can ask whatever questions, um, and you can further explain. Those touch points mean a lot to people these days.
Yeah.
So being able to, if you don't understand something, say it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
call the thing a thing and say it. I don't understand. Can you help me?
Mhm.
And so it's always beneficial when you can have a one-on-one with somebody, or you can have a smaller group and explain those things. But it is the employee's responsibility to say, I understand this information or I don't.
Yeah, yeah. And I ask that because I think sometimes employees, I used to be the employee who was afraid to say I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And it also got me in a lot of trouble because
Mm-hmm.
I would say, well, I don't understand, but if I tell people I don't understand, somebody's gonna call me stupid or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had some bosses who, when I said I didn't understand, they took advantage of that and they
Mm-hmm.
said, oh, well, looks like you need to figure out how to understand things. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And so,
Help me.
yeah, exactly. Help me. It's
Me.
like, well, how am I going to do a good job for you if you were treating me like there's something wrong
Mm-hmm.
with me? In which case, the other issue that comes up is the trust gets broken because the communication is
Exactly.
so wacky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, well, I don't want to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go do my job and collect a check.
Right. Well, I mean, quiet quitting is a thing. And so
Hmm.
I think that there are a lot of people out there that is like, well, I know I can't go to anybody, so I'm just gonna do what I can.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes we have to just do a little bit more or be creative in how you approach this whole communication thing. Um, I know what works for me. I try to be adaptable, but I will tell you between texts, phone calls, emails, Slack, Teams, what's the other one? Group Meet. There's a lot of information coming your way.
Yeah.
And then they have the audacity to have, direct messages. I'm like, what? So I sent you a message. I'm like, oh my gosh. But, I can appreciate the different channels of communication, but I have to tell people this is how you get my attention. This is what works best for me.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's why it's important to understand what effective communication is in your organization, so that you can use that channel. When you start hitting people with multiple, like for me, by the time Friday comes, phone is off. The phone is off. The laptop is closed at a certain point because I cannot be continuously be inundated with communication.
I was gonna say, yeah, by Friday, a lot of people's brains are off. Like yeah,
Yes,
we're done. We're cooked.
right. So, um, understanding how that communication works and just asking people what works for you.
Hmm.
Like, what works for you? This is how we communicate here. What works for you?
Yeah, yeah. All
Makes
right.
it so much easier.
So Sheila, if anybody
Mhm.
had any questions for you, how can they get in contact with you?
So you can reach me by going to darajaconsulting.net. That is my website. You can reach me via email, Sheila, Sheila, at darajaconsulting.net. Or you can give me a call. Like I like old school phone calls at 504-505-7557. That is all my contact information.
No, lots of fives in there. Hey, how do you spell Daraja?
Daraja.
All
Trying
right.
to figure out a rap to that and give me a little rhyme going.
Oh,
Once
Sheila.
upon a friend of mine. No, don't get me started. Do not get me started.
Oh, we should have
So
opened with
yeah.
that. That's what the break room is all about. We should have opened with that.
I'm gonna get it together. And it's like, oh, she raps now. I
Now,
got bars.
if you come out with commercials with that, we're gonna have to have a conversation, okay?
I may have you do
Hmm. Okay. Well, just let me know. Have my
them.
check ready.
But I will say thank you so much for this. This is super cool. I enjoyed it. I hope that this can happen again. And I have to refer you to some people. Let them have a chat with you. This is super cool.
Thank you. Appreciate you,
You're
Sheila.
welcome. You're welcome.